I want my naked boys.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Artistically declined e yokoso. Watashi no namae wa Ian-chan. Kore ga watashi no seidore Rasaru-chan desu. Kyou wa Berserku o kaite imasu.
What the fuck? I didn't understand a single word of that.
I've been practicing.
I can tell.
Okay, so in case some of you are some fake Nihon fans, that was the moon runes for today. We're going to be drawing Berserk, which is a fantastic little story. It's about a cute little group of friends. There's a little fairy boy. There's a black-haired dude who's a little sad sometimes, but it's a story about how that's okay, you know? Russell, say something about Berserk.
I really like Berserk. I genuinely believe, like, so we made a joke about how, about real anime fans or real weebs and stuff like that, but I'm actually willing to say that Berserk is one of the most universal stories out there, and despite being a manga, I feel like anyone could enjoy it, even if they're not into anime or manga.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's in part because it's like, it's, you know, that could be a Western story. There's nothing like... it's about a bunch of friends who go to a Japanese high school and they want to be pop idols. It's like, nah, this is just a bunch of people out in the horrible world where awful shit happens, and there's no, it's none of it's like censored or, you know, blocked or anything. It's all very raw.
Blocked.
It's like, yeah, it's just like you said, very accessible to anybody. Even though the content might be a little scary sometimes.
Just sometimes.
Just most of the time, actually. I really adore the way that he can do such like detailed, horrible stuff. It's okay. So in seriousness, it's the story about a guy who has a pretty horrible life. He gets some friends and joins their mercenary group, and then one of them, the boy who did nothing wrong, as the fans like to call him.
Funny meme.
Right. Griffith is Guts's friend for a while. He's the leader of this mercenary group. But then Guts decides to leave for a little while, and because of something the Griffith guy said. Griffith gets upset, and a lot of bad stuff happens. A lot of bad things happen, and then Guts becomes a big emo boy, and yeah, then that's like it's so weird because it's like a third of the story, and that's like the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going on for a very long time.
Very long time. People actually theorize that it might almost be over too.
I don't believe that.
It's possible, man. Who knows?
Because I saw an interview thing where he said that the end of the Kushan arc, with like the Arabian nation, that was like, he said he had finished like 2/3 of the story at that point or something like that.
Right, and that was a while ago. Keep in mind. So,
I suppose so, yeah.
So I'm willing to say we're maybe like 3/4 of the way there. Especially
Perhaps,
with
yeah.
what's going on now, because like to avoid spoilers again, like there's been a huge development as of late in the past like maybe 5 chapters or so. So
Mm-hmm.
it really leads one to wonder, where do we go from here? Like, what is the end goal now?
Yes.
So who knows?
I still think that we're quite a ways away.
That's totally fair.
There's a meme about the location where the story is currently occurring, where they had been on a boat for a long time, and now they are off the boat on their destination, but I highly doubt that they're just going to teleport to their next location. They're going to have to get back on this boat that the story took many, many, many years to complete that little arc of them sailing to this island. But in reality, it's like 20 chapters. It's something that you think would be resolved fairly quickly.
Yeah, the boat itself actually was not that long. It was just because it took so long in between chapters to tell that little story.
Yeah, because this is the same guy that worked on the Idolmaster games, full of cutesy girls and shit, and then he's like, oh, fine, I guess I have to go back to drawing these horrible goblins and demons and monsters and stuff.
Which, in all honesty, fair. I feel like at a certain point, drawing all that grotesque, horrible stuff would get to you.
But I also feel like that's kind of where he has the most fun, you know?
Oh, sure, but, like, I mean, I don't... So I'm obsessed with, like, Silent Hill, but after a certain point, I'm like, man, this is a bummer. I want to look at cute stuff. So, I don't know. I can't imagine having to be a creator who has to surround himself with that kind of a dark imagery, like, constantly, day in, day out.
You ought to do, like, a cute Silent Hill project.
I would love to. Like a nice shipping between Pyramid Head and Triangle Girl.
No. Like, remake, like, Silent Hill 2, but in, like, chibis, and it's, like, a 2D platformer that's really nice. And
then Jane's wife isn't really dead.
Yeah, and if you get hit by an enemy, they, like, drop teddy bears, some stuff like that.
Hell yeah, I'd play it.
Russell, what do you think is your favorite thing about Berserk?
My favorite thing about Berserk, that's a tough one. There's so many good things about it, but I think it's because I appreciate its subtlety. And
subtlety is not a word I would associate with Berserk.
So, yeah, I was about to clarify, actually. In terms of, like, the objective events that happen in the story, yeah, not subtle in the slightest. There are a bunch of horrible stuff that happens, like, full frontal, like, horrible gore and shit. But when it comes to its character arcs, I'm very fascinated by it. I think the character arcs are super subtle and very rewarding because of, like, the long time that it takes to get between one point to another, both in terms of the manga itself and also the in-world time that it takes for certain characters to develop. It's very fascinating. You and I actually had a recent, I wouldn't say argument, just like a light discussion about the character Farnese.
It's a recurring debate, yeah.
Yeah, so... I mean, I don't know if I can sum up your point nicely enough, but you were just not, like, super happy with the way that she's been developed over time.
Yeah, I feel like
she's become.
I feel like it got away from what character was originally being written for her.
Which is totally valid. I do think there may have been some loss of direction, but, like, Farnese is a character that represents what I appreciate is that there's a very slow shift, and by the time we look at how she is now compared to how she was at the beginning, it's like two sides, like two completely different characters. And there are ways to do that horribly and just make it kind of feel gross, but it always felt natural with Berserk. The characters are always exposed to their world in natural and steady ways, so it always felt right, for me at least.
Let's explain the kind of thesis, our theses here. So there's this character named Farnese, or Farnese, however you want to pronounce it. So she is a very high-ranking, like, daughter of a member of the church. She's her function in the church is that she goes around rooting out heretics and stuff. She's introduced by chasing down the main character Guts, right after he escapes from. It's pretty soon after the eclipse happens, right?
Relatively, yeah. It's very close to the beginning of the Black Swordsman arc, I think.
Yeah. So she shows up and seems very high and mighty, and they arrest Guts, and you start seeing that she has this sort of self-flagellation thing that she does. And it kind of gets revealed that her character is not as pure and holy and like she believes that she's as devout and pure and holy as she is, but in reality she has a lot of, like, sexual frustrations and things that she doesn't really understand how to deal with that don't really coincide with how she's supposed to be viewed or how religion is supposed to be, followed. And so she self-flagellates, but in like with a cat o' nine tails, I think. But in doing that, it's something that she likes, and so she acts like it's a punishment, but it's really just self-satisfaction. And so it's kind of a feedback loop in a way. And I found that to be a very interesting concept for a character. And over time, Russell, if you would like to tackle this part of her character.
Oh yeah, so over time she becomes more acquainted with who Guts is. They eventually become friends, and she's part of his group. She brings along one of her friends as well, a man named, I believe it's Serpico, right?
I thought it was pronounced cuck.
Okay, well that's just rude. Serpico's the best.
I agree, but it's absolutely what happens.
Nah, 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 nah. Anyways, the point is, she brings along her very close aide, I guess you would call him, Serpico. And they travel along with Guts and the party he's already accrued, and she meets up with Shirk, who is a little witch in training, and Shirk is very powerful with the magics, and Varney ends up wanting to learn that as well. So in the recent chunk of
Which
the
also
story,
goes against her religion.
sure, yeah, valid.
I was just clarifying that as something that is important to her early on in that arc.
Correct, totally fair. But yeah, so we see her start to like learn the magics while the way I say that sounds weird, but she's starting to learn magic with Shirk as her tutor. And we see her become a bit more, how would I put it? She's a bit more typically girly in a way, I guess. Very motherly and caring compared to how she was introduced. And I understand that Ian himself may not like that direction, but I'm fascinated by the change more than anything. Because I do prefer how Fonny started out. Yes, I do like that character more, but it's not... Because I don't like this character, like, version of her less, does not make me unhappy, because I'm more focused with the shift and like the direction she's going. I'm interested to see how that story plays out. For all we know, there could come a time where she's at odds with these two sides of herself. We just haven't seen that yet. So
it hasn't come up in a really long time, and a lot of her backstory, like something that happens is she like grinds on Guts's giant fuck off sword. And what's probably the most cringy, like physically cringy scene in the entire thing, I think is fair to say.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Really? Wow. It's like viscerally very, very difficult to look at.
I'll be honest, the sexy stuff doesn't really stick with me.
I would not call that sexy by any means.
Sexually themed. I say. Sexually themed.
But and then there's another part of her backstory where with the character Serpico, who knew her from childhood, and she, like he saw her get really enamored with the burning of heretics in the streets when she was young. Like she was obsessed with the flames and the fire and stuff. So I personally find it a little weird that there is such a tonal shift in her character arc to being really wholesome and cutesy and, you know, in tune with nature as she's learning magic and all this stuff. And I find it kind of unfortunate that a really interesting character arc that I haven't seen a lot of in anime and manga and all that shit, it gets dropped kind of really silently for kind of a character rehaul. I don't know.
That's totally understandable. It can be concerning. You're unsure of the direction the character's going to go. I usually just like to wait and see, I guess. Even if I question it, I'm like, you know what? I've been really enjoying all other elements of the story. I'm willing to see what comes up. Especially with people like Miura, I'm usually very trusting to see, because he's a genius, right? Not free from flaws, without a doubt. But he's an absolute genius, so I'm always willing to wait it out and see what comes up.
Do you think the Cinderella Girls influenced Farnese's character?
Cinderella Girls?
Yeah, that's the Idolmaster thing he worked on.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I can't remember anyone in Berserk that would fit that, except maybe the prostitutes.
Oh, the prostitutes are so nice.
The prostitutes are the best, dude.
Moving on. Let's see. What do you think is the coolest, like... that's a very vague thing what I was about to say. I guess like the coolest item, weapon, like thing in Berserk, because it's a really high concept fantasy story that like has a lot of... It brings a lot of interesting things that aren't just like, oh, it's a dragon and this magical sword that can form change, or, you know, it's like almost, I would say it's like pretty close to a classic like medieval fantasy. Like there's giant fuck off demons and shit, but like it's not really very anime.
No, yeah, no, I would agree with that. To answer your original question, though, I think it's probably the easiest answer, but I'm most fascinated by the Dragon Slayer itself. I really love just like the imagery of it on every panel it takes up because it's just such a dominating presence. It's
It's
definitely
really
the most
good for
memorable.
composition too.
Oh, absolutely. Miura is an absolute genius with how he incorporates that long, thick slab of iron into like his artworks.
It's the main character's sword. If you've seen the character, you've seen the sword. And it's a fucking massive hunk of metal that he swings around all day.
As the manga itself puts it, it's far too big to even be called a sword, really.
I'm going to adopt your saying and be like, haha, good meme. Huh.
Thanks. Well, I'm not even trying to be a meme. I'm just trying to like illustrate a point, though. It's freaking big.
Yeah, really freaking big. And you know, it's not even like Cloud swinging around a sword it's not like anime big sword. It gives a semi reasonable explanation for it. He's a really big guy that's really strong, and when he was a kid, they didn't have any like kid-sized swords when he was being trained. So like he had to train with like adult swords, so he became more used to like swinging around big fucking swords. So it's like not even really kind of forced or anything. It seems pretty well explained to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think my favorite little artifact is the behelits, which are these creepy little magical eggs that turn humans into demons when the right conditions are met. Usually when they have some desire that they want satisfied. And these behelits, I'm probably going to draw one here when I start my Griffith drawing, but they are these. They're eggs with human face pieces on them, and all of them are shut. And then when they activate, all of the pieces of the face like open, and the mouth starts screaming, and the eyes start like bleeding and stuff. It's a really interesting artifact, and I think some of my favorite things in fantasy stories are like the really cool and well designed artifacts that they make. I feel like those add a certain mystique to the world, and the Dragon Slayer is kind of one of those as well, where I believe the guy that made it, like, or the guy that gave it to the main character, is he has like come into possession of it. It's not like even something he made, if I remember right.
He is a blacksmith, but yeah, I think it was something like that.
Like
I forget
he
the full details.
like fixed it up or something.
There's like a legend to it though, where the sword was made for like a king to impress him, but the king was like, "That's way too fucking big. You're stupid," or something like that.
Russell,
What?
one of us is gonna have to draw Skull Knight.
I had thought about it, but I'm terrible at drawing skulls because I was not the edgy kid who smoked in middle school. Sorry if that's a total call.
Do you know somebody that did that?
Oh yeah, I mean there was totally like it was like that. I don't want to sound like super judging, but it was always like there was like that kid who probably smoked and he would like draw like skulls all the time in his notebook, like that kind of a character archetype. You know what I'm saying? The point is, I'm bad at drawing skulls.
Okay. Well, I might field Skull Knight then. I could do him along with Zod.
Yeah, I was about to say, you did say you were going to do Zod, so I was like, oh, maybe I should do Skull Knight, but I don't know.
There was a guy I knew in middle school who, like, he was a fantastic artist, but he drew only in one niche, and that niche was stormtroopers and clones from Star Wars.
Which, honestly, respect.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic at it, and he kind of helped me get into drawing more as like an actual interest, because he was fantastic at it, and I was in absolute admiration of him, but like then as I kind of grew up and started drawing more things, like we weren't in the same classes anymore. I'd try to like say hi to him in the hallways, but he was a rather quiet guy, and so he didn't interact back much. And then whenever I would see him drawing in the occasional class, he was still drawing the same things, and it looked like the same level generally. Like, and I'm sure that he did progress in drawing Stormtrooper and Clone Trooper helmets, but like I was kind of disappointed that he never moved beyond that.
That is a shame. I feel like we've known quite a few people who just stagnated, and kind of yeah, dude. No one's gonna get that.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But it's always a shame. Always try to work to improve yourself. I'll admit I kind of stick myself into like a niche of trying to do anime ass looking things, but that's kind of why I'm doing the show. It gives me an opportunity to do different stuff every now and then. So.
Yeah, and I am doing it so I can get. Well, I'm doing it because I want to, but I definitely need to get a lot more practice in on tablet because I've spent the last many years working exclusively in paper. I haven't touched my tablet for a really long while, and it's not the height of what I know I can do. So it's that's something I'm hoping to tackle, and even in that, like, you try to do things to help you grow. How's your drawing going, buddy?
Well, I'm kind of polishing up the guts drawing I'm doing right now.
I think I'm also going to be finishing up my guts drawing here soon as well.
Yeah, I have a special guest character in the guts drawing.
I do too!
Oh, look at lovely! Cool!
Aren't we so in sync?
Yeah, it's like a crossover fighting game. Dude, why hasn't Guts been put into a fighting game yet? Like, honestly? Come on.
Because game companies don't know what people want.
That's true. Harada knows what people want. The guy who does Tekken, he knows what people want. But also, he doesn't care.
Well, then why doesn't he give us Tekken Cross Street Fighter?
Shut up.
It was supposed to happen.
Shut up. No one wants that.
Where is it? I want it. Even though I don't know jack shit about Tekken and I don't care about its characters, and I think they not
dare
optimal
you
designs.
Tekken's
They have
awesome.
really boring designs.
No, they don't. They're awesome.
They're really boring.
They're boring. I'll be honest. They're a bit lackluster. But Tekken's awesome. Shut up.
I like Bob.
Bob is cool. But man, can you imagine if just Guts' normals alone, just whenever he pressed them, it would just start playing the Forces song on blast.
Guts in Smash.
Hell yeah, dude. Guts should be in Smash. Fuck Goku. Guts should be in Smash. Dude, his edge guarding could be insane!
Something that annoys me in Berserk that keeps happening, and I think we've talked about this before.
Probably. You do like to complain a lot.
I do.
Yeah. Wait, he doesn't have bandages on his arm there? Anyways,
yeah, he
continue.
does.
Well, I mean, at the place I was giving it.
Russell, don't interrupt.
I'm sorry.
You just did it again.
Sorry. Oh,
I don't want you to be sorry. I want you to be quiet.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
The little fairy boy Puck.
Yeah.
He's kind of the mascot. He follows Guts around, and for some reason Guts hasn't killed him yet. But like, he has like a little fat like simplified version of him that gets drawn.
Yeah.
But even in situations where it's more serious, it'll be fat, ugly Puck, and it's just like, why? I don't understand. Like, what? Why can't? Are you just incapable of drawing like normal ass Puck again? Like, he looks perfectly fine. You could do him pretty simply. Like, there's another fairy character that is simplified but looks like a normal ass fairy. Yeah, I don't know. It bugs me how much he relies on. I think people call him like Chestnut Puck or whatever.
Yeah, Chestnut Puck or something along those lines.
But yeah, it's weird.
I sympathize with the complaint, but it's also like he puts a lot of work into his art. For every panel, like nearly every panel is a goddamn work of art.
Yeah.
But I do sympathize with that though. I do miss seeing fully detailed Puck. I want my naked boys. Let's cut that out. Anyway.
That's going in.
Puck is a naked fairy. If that wasn't clear, it was a joke. The point is, god damn it, why do I do this to myself?
No, please keep talking. Keep talking.
Why do I do this to myself? The point is, it would just be nice to see his original design a bit more.
Yeah.
Puck is a fun character, though.
He's fantastic.
There are some people who hate him, like people hate Jar Jar, which makes me sad.
He gives a certain amount of needed levity to a lot of the, like it's not like he swoops in the middle of Guts fighting off, a big demon that's gonna kill his friends.
Yeah, he doesn't ruin
and
the
makes
tension.
jokes. But like in times in the quiet times, you know, he provides a needed like force in the story.
Absolutely, I appreciate Puck.
Because I mean, who else is gonna do it? Fucking Isidoro.
Dude, fuck Isidro. I like Isidro, I'll be honest. Like, I know that you hate him, but also just fuck that guy. Why doesn't he have a story?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. He's like one of the only characters who just doesn't have a story.
And he's just kind of become Puck too, really.
The
two literally just sit in the background and quip.
Yeah, but he's like Puck's punching bag, so he's worse.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, Puck likes to pick on him a lot. Kind of like a Ryuji and Morgana kind of energy.
What a useful character.
Isidro, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the concept his introduction promised, but we just haven't seen that. You know, the idea of Guts mentoring and training a young boy, but that just hasn't really come up a whole lot.
You know what I would have preferred? I would have preferred that the girl from the Waking the Fairies arc became like his...
The mermaid?
No. In the arc right after, it was like immediately after the eclipse. There was a little town that had this girl who had an abusive father and her like best friend missing.
Oh yeah, from the Lost Children arc.
Yeah, that's
my
the
favorite
one,
arc.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And like her friend had become a fairy because she had like run off into the forest, and then the little girl wanted to go with Guts, and I'm like, oh hell yes. Yes, this is exactly what I want from this story. Yeah, this is going to be great. And he's like, no, you should stay here with your abusive dad. And she's like, oh, okay. And we never see her again. And I so would have wished, like, I don't want her to fight. I don't want her to lose her innocence. I want Guts to have to protect that innocence. And to, like, that's the light that he's fighting to keep safe.
That's fair.
And I know that kind of becomes this other character, Casca's purpose in the story, but like that little girl and him had such good chemistry that I really enjoyed.
So I would like to see her again. However, I will have to say having her come along at that point of the story wouldn't have served much to Guts' character, in my opinion, or at the very least,
I agree.
His arc would have been premature.
Yes,
because
I can agree.
We need time to see Guts suffer and want to be alone. He needs to go through that era of fighting people and slowly suffering and slowing down because he can't handle the weight of his past anymore. And that's why it's so satisfying when we get to the point where Shirk befriends him, or Farney and Serpico agree to join him on his quest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, though, like, I love that character, the little girl from the Lost Children arc. I hope she's happy. I don't even care if she comes back into the story. I just hope she's happy. It's like when we get to see the prostitutes again and they're totally chill and having a good time, and it's like, fuck yeah. I'm happy for you guys.
In Griffith City.
Well, I mean, at least they're happy. Right? You know, no one's bothering them.
Hey, Russell, you want to hear a joke?
What's up?
Band of the Falcon.
Ha!
There was a translation mistake early on where the mercenary group that Guts and Griffith were in was called the Band of the Hawk, which sounds fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then recently there was like kind of an update where they were like, yeah, so translation's a little off. It's actually the Band of the Falcon, and everyone's like, that sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And so nobody uses it.
Yeah, there have been a lot of weird translation issues with Berserk. Like, the biggest one that comes to mind...
It's been long running, so...
Yeah, but the biggest issue, the one that comes to mind, is when people think that Guts' name is Gatsu.
Gatsu, yeah.
Yeah, it's like some Japanese language logic, but Miura himself has come out and said, no, it's Guts, not Gatsu, Guts. So,
isn't there also, like, another... Like, there's, like, a third... It's like the Ryu or
God,
Ryu thing.
Ryu makes me so mad. It's like with a Raydun in Mortal Kombat. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's especially gross with Raydun because he's a lightning character. He's clearly based off of the lightning god, and the lightning word in Japanese is Rai. So why is it Raydun? Why is it not Raiden like Raiden in Metal Gear? They got it right.
He shoots rays.
I think that was the logic at a certain point, right? Like it started to become more like rays of light or something.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe.
care much about Mortal Kombat, so I don't pay attention to the lore.
Ditto.
But
There's a World Warrior tournament. I think that's the story, right?
it's the tournament is called Mortal Kombat.
We're talking about fighting games a lot this episode.
We yeah, we are. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's just me.
For any fans out there of Berserk who are waiting pensively for the next chapter in 2 years, I highly recommend this other series called Vinland Saga, which is it's kind of like I don't mean this in a demeaning way, but it's kind of like baby Berserk. It's got like a lot of the same sort of like visual feel and like world feel. It's a very violent place. It's about the Viking times, and so like artistically, there's a lot of similar visuals. It's got a lot of the same like heavily violent feels, very realistic violence though, like not anime level stuff. And so it gave me a lot of like the good feelings of reading more Berserk, but it's shorter. It updates more regularly. I wish it would update even more regularly because I've been waiting for like a little while for a new chapter, but not as much as I've been waiting for Berserk. So.
Oh, whatever. You keep getting obsessed with all sorts of shows that are on hiatus.
Yeah.
Aren't you also into Hunter x Hunter?
I watched Hunter x Hunter. I'm not gonna hurt myself by starting to read it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm in the same boat. I've already seen like the first season of Hunter x Hunter, and I'm just taking my time because I know the anime is not finished. So I'm gonna go as slow as possible in the hopes that maybe at least the manga can wrap up before the time I'm done with the anime.
Yeah.
But that's probably not gonna happen because these things take time. Just like with Berserk, Berserk takes freaking forever.
Yep.
And it makes me
sad.
But
it's good quality though.
I saw a video. I forget. I wish I remember what video it was, but it was just talking about how long it might take for Berserk to finish, based off of the trends and patterns of Miura's chapter releases.
Yeah.
And the general, if I recall correctly, the general ballpark was about 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh no, I'm gonna be 33, at least maybe.
Oh God, don't say stuff like that. That's too depressing.
I know 33 is not old, but it's a weird perspective thing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
God, I hope I'm
that's
doing
very
stuff.
odd to think about.
I hope I'm doing stuff by then.
No, I mean we'll be doing this, right?
For 10 years?
Yeah, why not?
I feel like we're gonna run out of things to draw by 10 years.
All right, so this is gonna be the Berserk Revisited episode. Unfortunately there's not a lot of new stuff, but
yeah, but by the time we get to Berserk Revisited, we've only gotten like 5 chapters in.
Yeah. Oh man, that was crazy. Well, I mean we can't say it because if it's a spoiler, so, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Nice and vague. So I've talked about this before, but in the past few weeks, I was doing some Berserk-related studies. I was trying to imitate that heavy inking style. And I never realized until I got into it, it's very stroke-based, more than I always thought it was. And that's a weird way of putting it, I guess. To elaborate, in my early years of trying to become an artist and being inspired by stuff like Miura and stuff like that, I've always looked at his art and always saw just the pitch blacks and just saw them as mostly just giant shapes of black. And I never really thought about how much of it is just individual strokes coming together.
Cross-hatching would be the technical term, right?
That's for when they're actually crossing, I suppose. But there are a lot of areas where it's just the same like lines converging on a single point, like with his like with Guts' shoulder pads, I guess is the best way. I always just saw those as big like blotches of black, but like I'm starting to see the strokes that go into it more, thanks to my studies, and that's always been fascinating to me. And ever since I realized that, I'm starting to do that converging points, and it really adds to the effect, rather than just doing like one big stroke of black.
Interesting. All right. Have you finished your first drawing, or
it's essentially finished. I'm just kind of being fancy with the heavy blacks on it. Right. Hence why I brought that up. Dude, why hasn't Sonic been put into Berserk yet?
I don't know. He would actually fix a lot of the plot holes that have kind of cropped up over the last few like arcs.
Yeah, exactly. You know how in like Brawl, like Sonic came at the end of the story to fight Taboo, and it was like super easy, and he was like, "What up?"
Yeah.
Why didn't he do that against the God Hand?
It's kind of weird.
It's a little fucked up. It really goes against his character.
Well, and also, do you remember in the like the final war against the Kushins? There was that big gold ring that appeared that like clearly led to a bonus stage, and Guts was like, what is this? And then it vanished because he took too long, and it's like that never got resolved.
Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. And I think now I will move on.
Huzzah! Took you long enough.
Shut the fuck up. You're being very mean, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, well, guess what? If I learn one thing from Berserk, it's that the world doesn't care if you're nice or mean. Griffith has really bad bangs.
He does. He's beautiful though.
He is.
You ever just like take a moment to think about how beautiful Griffith is?
Would you give him a smooch?
I might give him a smooch. He has some like really pretty lips. Very smoochable lips.
He has very, very prominent lips, and a lot of the animes and stuff, it's like they really make him pop. They make him like bright red.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I totally vibe with it, but I guess it adds to like his feminine appearance in a way.
Okay, so maybe that's something we should also talk about.
What's up?
Reading is definitely it's the most cumbersome way.
Read Berserk. Don't watch it.
No. So there was an anime in the 90s that was it was pretty alright. It covered the first arc that we talked about that focuses on Guts and Griffith, and then the anime ended. And then there have been several movies since then. The movies are all right.
The movies are honestly legitimately enjoyable.
They started this precedent of mixing CG 3D animation with the 2D, and all the 2D stuff looks beautiful, and all the 3D stuff looks like ass. At least in like the first two movies. The third one, they got a lot better at hiding a lot of it, which made it much more passable. And then there's the show. You want to field the show?
Dude, the 2016 anime makes me want to die just thinking about it. It has a great really soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. It's the I'm blanking on the original composer's name. I want to say his name was Susumu Hirasawa is the guy who makes the original music for the original Berserk series and some of the games back in the early days. Berserk 2016 uses a lot of remix stuff of his work, and I think, I could be wrong, I heard it was done by the Bleach composer, but I might be wrong. That's what I heard. The point is, it's a different guy remixing Hirasawa's work, I believe, and it's a great soundtrack. It's quite possibly the only good thing about the new anime. But the anime, I forget the studio, but it's like a very random small-time studio whose past track record was just high school cutesy anime girl animes. So it's really
like Mira.
Haha. But it was a very bizarre decision, and their opening intros are decent. They make you think, oh, this is going to be good, like nice hand-drawn animation, maybe with some CG flourishes here just to make things easier. I can understand that. But no, the show is primarily, I want to say 98% CG, not well done CG at that, very bad.
Like you can visually tell, even if you're not an artsy type, like you can tell that the movement isn't correct. It's not human.
Yeah. There are plenty of CG only animes that treat it as a CG only anime, and they do really well. There's like that green robot girl anime. I wish I knew what it was called. I guess we can plaster a picture of it once I figure out what it is. But that looks pretty good, all things considered. But Berserk 2016 and the second season from 2017, they just, I don't know. It felt like they set up models and with like keyframe animations to show. It feels like we're looking at the CG storyboard in a way.
Yes, exactly.
That's the best way of putting
That's
it. Like
perfect.
they just forgot to actually do the anime part.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of infamous scenes of just like the lack of effort they went into it. There's a shot where a girl falls down and she looks back and sees a crowd of people hurrying after her, and there's like 50 people in like the crowd. You see 3 different models and that's it. They're all like repeated over and over. It looks like an early PS3, Xbox 360 era video game that tried to do open world.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like, with like crowds of just like the same people over and over again, and it's ridiculous. Then there's a shot of
the famous GIF where it's
Guts walking.
somebody. Yeah, where somebody took the the shoulder bob of him moving off screen, and then they like drew little tiny feet right beneath him that were like walking really creepily.
Yeah, to elaborate, there's a shot where it's Guts, and it's just his head and torso, and he's walking towards the camera away from like a group of people. And the movement is so unnatural. It literally looks like they just took like his model with like a mouse and just like dragged it like fucking. Hold on, I can actually illustrate this perfectly because we have the power of computers right now. It's like if I just took this, right? Shit, I fucked up. Shit. Oh god, this is embarrassing. Oh fuck. Okay, so boop. And then if I just hit all this, it just looked like they took this torso and just did this. That's literally what it looks like. There's no like natural footsteps in a way. Even that is kind of lazy, but you get the point. Hopefully, God, I hope. It's ridiculous, and the models themselves aren't really good quality. They also have this weird sketchy shading that they're doing, which I get.
Like Street Fighter 4.
Kinda, yeah. Like, I get what they're going for it, because it kind of helps with the organic feel of the manga. It's just not executed very well. The lines are way too thin and just kind of lazily placed. There's no sense of form to the shading lines in any way, so it just looks awkward. And they have kind of this weird effect where, how would I put it? You know how in Etta and Eddie, the way it's animated is that the lines jitter every frame? Even if a character's standing still, the lines still jitter. It's like that effect, but with the shading lines on the person, even if they're standing still. So like when they're like moving with their mouths, like all the lines around them are like freaking the hell out, and it just doesn't look natural. It looks very bizarre. And there are plenty of other things I can say, but it's just a shame because, like I said, the music's good, the OPs are decent looking. And then there are some moments where it is hand animated and it's beautiful. There's a shot of Shirk, the little witch girl, smiling, and it's a recreation of one of the best manga panels ever. And it's the best shot in the anime because they actually hand drew it. And it's so beautiful and adorable, and she's such a awesome character, and I love her.
She's your favorite.
She is my favorite! She's adorable!
Okay. She's
Look
totally
at her.
adorable.
She's adorable. She is adorkable. She is a dork. I love her. She's great. She's who I'm drawing right now, if that wasn't clear.
I think the another favorite arc of mine has to be the one that just finished where Shirke and the character we mentioned earlier, Farnese, go into another character's dreams to help fix some issues that are going on inside of her mind. And that was a fantastic arc. I was
one of the
every
most
chapter
well illustrated, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
And that says a lot,
like,
considering Berserk's history.
In terms of imagery and just like stylization and theming, it was fantastic.
Absolutely. Wonderful arc.
What do you think your least favorite arc of Berserk has been?
My least favorite arc. That's a tough one. Because even the ones that I didn't adore, they were still really fun to go through. Because I'm just so naturally enamored by the world. So it's easy to enjoy whatever I'm reading in Berserk. But I would have to say, I guess the small arc that kind of has been talking about how Griffith has been doing. I guess that's the only one.
Where the like what it is like Jotun or something.
It's just the one where it's about him going into some battles and doing some politics.
Yeah, that's Jotun.
Which is totally fine. I think it is important for the story. It's good to know what Griffith is up to. Just seeing a side of his character that we're kind of foreign to right now, I guess. So it is interesting. It's just probably there was a time when the chapters for that there were a lot of delays between those chapters, as is the usual.
Well, and they kept cutting in with the really interesting
right
stuff going on the fairy island.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just kind of like I kind of want to know what's going on with the fairies. I don't really like this is good. I need to know what Griffith's doing. I don't want to right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's nobody. If that just happened like after the fairy arc or something, I think people would be a lot more receptive to it. But putting it smack dab in the middle.
Hell, even if they did it right when they arrive at Fairy Island, then show the few chapters of Griffith doing what he was doing, and then we just go through all the Fairy Island and stuff, I think that would have been better.
Yeah.
MIHO.
I thought a lot of the Kushan War arc went on a little too long and was a bit aimless. Like, the main characters were only directly related in it in the sense that they, like, were just kind of going through a town where the final battle of the war happened to break out. Otherwise, it was like relatively inconsequential, if I remember right.
Funnily enough, my instinct when you originally asked that question was to say the Kushan War arc. Weirdly enough, but like I had to think about it, and I really loved the payoff.
Oh, absolutely! The ending of it was fantastic.
Yeah, so it was very hard for me to diss it too much. I had to think of something that I just in general may not have been super stoked about. So that's why I had to change my answer immediately.
That's fair.
But yeah, the Kushan War arc, I'm fascinated by the concept of the Kushans. Yeah.
Like it's really neat because like up till then all we see are warring factions in the same country / continent, whatever. And so that's kind of interesting, but like seeing these like foreigners like making an attack and they're like clearly very different from the normal European style soldiers we've been seeing up till now. It's very it's different enough that it makes it a lot more interesting. I feel it just goes on a long ass time.
Yeah, that's totally fair. But yeah, I'm very fascinated by the culture. It makes me want to see more of the world because Berserk is supposed to take place in a very realistic ass kind of a world just with dark magic. So it makes me want to know what the equivalents of our cultures are. Like, what would be the Eastern, like, Japanese kind of equivalent of that world? I would like to see that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's any place to fit it into the story, given what's going on now, but still, it's one of those important things where you want to learn about the world. Whether or not you actually end up getting to learn more about it, it's up for debate if that's good or bad. But important thing is, I want to know, and that's good.
Yeah. A lot of the world building is fantastic, but I also feel like there's a bit of I feel like this happens in a lot of kind of series, like where like the war stuff that's happening at the very beginning of the series when it's just about them being in a mercenary band and like the stakes are okay, well this like nation city-state thing is trying to attack and take over ours. Cool. Like that stuff seems grounded and fair, but then you start adding in demons and dark magic and stuff, and then there's a lot of parts of the story that still expect you to take the little fighting soldiers thing seriously, and it's like, why do I care about these normal ass like little land battles now that I know that there are these higher demonic powers and this like dark other dimension, and where fairy tale creatures really do exist, and like all this stuff, and then they expect me to like care about another country attacking Midland or whatever it's called. It's like I know the stakes are so much higher that like that begins to seem more inconsequential. And then with the Kushan arc, they did kind of build in some of that with like the stuff that Kushans have been working on or whatever, but like I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that in various media where they don't seem to grasp that when you start introducing this other stuff, like this other stuff that's clearly like much bigger and grander in scale, that like the smaller stuff stops seeming as important.
I sympathize with that, and I definitely agree. That's something I usually try to avoid myself. However, I will say, in Berserk's case, there's a lot of impact to that. We see how the new freaky shit affects the real world that we try to go back to. We see how soldiers in Midland are working with demons or fighting demons in their normal battles for national power, right?
Yeah.
And that's admittedly seen very briefly during the Griffith arc that I expressed how wasn't my favorite. But that's still interesting, right? There's an effect that these things have on the world. I feel like a lot of other shows neglect to show that effect. It's very much they try to pretend it doesn't exist whenever they try to go back to more grounded stuff. And it just doesn't make sense. In Berserk, though, I feel like it's very natural.
Even in like I really enjoy following like the Magic the Gathering story and those plot lines, but like it centers around planeswalkers, which are characters that can go between the different worlds. And so once you know that there are these battles between planeswalkers that traverse various places and stuff, when you go to the places that they visit, like their stories seem a lot less like the characters just living on those worlds that can't walk between them. Like their problems and issues seem so much smaller when it's just like, oh, so like there's a big civil war going on this plane that if our main characters just decided to leave, like it would have no bearing on them. Like then it doesn't make me feel invested. It's sort of like that.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, this is some good shit.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's the sauce. That's the fucking sauce.
Oh, this. Look at this dynamic angle. Oh, this is so.
Oh,
good.
that angle's so fucking dynamic, dude. Holy shit.
You can't even see it.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Do you have cameras in my house?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't jump to conclusions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything.
Yeah, no problem. You know, I gotta say though, I mean, being in your house and all, I would imagine you would want to, you know, chill in like your underwear more. You know, it is getting hot out lately. It's starting to become summer, so, you know, I'm not funny.
Yeah. Russell.
Yeah, what's up, dog?
What do you think is your favorite form of hygiene to perform on yourself? You know, like...
What?
So, like, I really... There's something about clipping my nails that I really, really like.
You clip your nails?
Yeah. Either that or I chew on them.
Well... Okay, you know
what?
Fair.
Do you just let yours grow out?
No, I mean, I get rid of them when accordingly...
You get rid of them? Do you pull your nails out and what exactly do you mean?
I just chew them off.
Okay, that's fair.
Which I know is gross, but it's like I've never learned like a real way to do it. So it's just in my brain. I've always just grown up knowing that chewing your nails off is the way to do it. I know it's gross, and it's not the way to do it. But again, I've just never learned how to do nail clippers.
I always chew my nails when I'm really fixated on something.
Shoot, maybe I should learn how to clip my nails.
I mean, it's not learning. You just grab some nail clippers and you clip it down till it's like an appropriate size.
Dude, trust me, I am paranoid with that stuff. I would freak out so much. I would overthink it and probably snip off the tip of my finger. Ugh, God, I'm an idiot. I was on the wrong freaking layer.
Ooh, wow, sounds like a you problem.
You problem. Fuck you, Ian. You're just an asshole who doesn't care about people's problems. Look at you, just caught in your own world. You're just in the comfort of your own home, not thinking about the problems of today.
Says the guy that doesn't follow politics.
Dude, politics are boring.
No, politics are important and depressing. And I wish I could have your ability to ignore that.
Dude, whenever I see a speech by any presidential candidate, I don't care who it is, I have no strong like political opinions, I just go to sleep. I can't. And it's not like I'm apathetic. Like, obviously I am concerned because this is where I live, you know, American politics are relevant to the way I'll live throughout my life. It's just, I can't mentally focus on it. I don't know, I have a weird problem. There are a lot of things where I just can't for the life of me have my brain wrap around it. And then there's also history. I'm not like an idiot when it comes to history. I know all the basic stuff any average person should probably know from their high school education. But I've always struggled so much with retaining it because it's just so mundane to me.
Yeah, but a lot of it's cool.
There are some cool stories every now and here and there that have resonated with me. Like, I don't know, the give me liberty or give me death or whatever it is thing. That's cool. I got that line wrong, didn't I?
I just don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Give me love or give me life, death, liberty.
I don't know, which is it?
The guy's about to be hung or something or whatever, and it's like, whatever. Shut up, man. I don't know. The point is, history's not my strong suit, and it's hard for me to focus on it. But then there are stuff that I'm hyper like focused about, like knowing the history of fictional universes, even though that's far less useful. But shut up.
Russell.
What?
I think I need to reiterate that one of my toenails is like filed to a point.
Why? Oh, you said that before. Yeah. Why though?
Just because that's how it ended up. Like I've just like using clippers. It just kind of ended up that one toenail comes to a pointed end.
But why? Why would you let that happen?
It's not that I let it happen. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. So you let it happen.
It might have been like through some combination of like stubbing my toe and smashing the toenails or something, like, and just like the way that it had to be cared and clipped for after that, you know. That's
weird, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't a purposeful thing, but it's just now it kind of is.
It's weird.
Russell, when we're at dinner some night, I'm gonna take my shoe off and I'm gonna trace my sharp toenail up and down your leg.
Do
that
not.
Sound?
Ian, if you do that, I'm going to leave. I have a car. I can just go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't have to rely on you anymore. I say that as if it's recent. I haven't had to rely on you for like a good year and a half to 2 years now.
I know, it's so sad.
Yeah, shame. Total shame.
Do you remember that one time though where we were gonna hang out and I was like, okay, I'll go pick him up at this time, and I went to pick you up and I was like, okay, dude, I'm here, and you're like, I walked most of the way over already. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Why did you walk over? I always come and pick you up. And you're like, well, you didn't say, and I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to, impose and be like, okay, well, come pick me up then. So I just walked. And I'm like, God, dude, it's like the middle of summer. It's so hot out. Why?
Yeah,
I always come pick you up.
Well, I don't know. I just, like you said, I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to be an asshole about it. So I just figured, okay, I'll head out early. And then I'll arrive there at the time we agreed on, so that way I'm not imposing. you know. So
Russell,
like,
do you know what they say about assuming?
what?
It makes an ass out of you and me.
Even though I was trying to be nice with this assumption,
Yeah.
I'm still the asshole.
Yeah.
I see.
Because you wasted my gas.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I do feel bad about that.
Wasting limited resources is funny. God, this Griffith looks so good.
Dude, this shirk looks amazing. I'm really happy with this shirk. Now I had to draw a Valera, and I'll be honest, I am not good at drawing tiny people.
You've always had a thing against tiny people, haven't you?
You know what I goddamn meant, you piece of shit.
I remember when you saw, what was it, Infinity War, and you saw Peter Dinklage, and he was, like, giant, but he's a tiny person, and you like, kept making retching sounds throughout the entire scene.
That's not true! This did not happen!
I remember that happening pretty distinctly.
No! Shut the fuck up! Stop trying to make me out to be a terrible person.
Remember that time at our school when, like, there was the tiny person that came to give, like, a talk, and you like, ran down from the bleachers, and you, like, slapped him on top of his head and
that's an episode. That's an episode of South Park. Jesus Christ!
It's a really funny visual of just like a loud smack on top of his bald head.
What the fuck? That's really fucked up.
From like your sweaty palm.
My palm's not sweaty.
I mean, it would be in that situation.
Why?
Because you were furiously masturbating.
What? At an assembly at school?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you were horny.
No. You make me out to seem like a bad person all the time, Ian. And I don't appreciate it. Granted, I don't help my case sometimes. But I've actually recently seen tweets coming out about people saying, hey, if you follow a Japanese artist, try to be careful with like your sarcasm or irony. Because a lot of people like to... whenever someone draws something that conceptually is funny or like weird, but like they're a good artist, a lot of people would reply with sarcastic comments of like cursed or like the gun, like delete this thing, but it's good art and they like it. It's just like pointing out the absurdity of the concept. That doesn't really translate well for Japanese artists apparently, so it often comes across as genuine. And
they don't have sarcasm over there at all.
At all, and not whatsoever.
So like apparently, I don't remember who I heard say this, but apparently like there's a saying that's like sometimes Americans will just lie to you.
That's weird.
Because that's how they interpret sarcasm, is like, oh yeah, I'd love to, or whatever, you know. So but because they societally don't have anything like that.
Oh, so you weren't joking when you said that Japanese people don't have sarcasm?
Yeah, literally.
That's fascinating to me. I thought we were just being like hyperbolic.
No,
that's the word.
They just
like the meme of German people being very cold and not funny, kind of thing.
I love that, especially since they're basically just like the Netherlands or Dutchland or whatever now.
Mm-hmm.
Danish? What's the fucking country that Dutch people are from?
Ian.
Denmark.
Why can't I get a good... Oh, there we go. Never mind. I was about to complain about not being able to get a good close-up shot of a Valera, but I just suddenly stumbled upon one. As in, and by stumbled upon one, I mean I remember I already pulled one up and just forgot it was there.
Okay.
So, you know, funny, haha, Russell's a dummy.
Yeah, but he's our dummy.
Don't fucking patronize me.
Hear that, guys? Don't ever buy anything from Russell. He doesn't want you to be...
No, please, wait, no, hold on.
Don't patronize him, so that means don't become a patron of him.
That's not what that means.
Oh yeah, what does it mean? Give me the definition.
Of patronizing?
Yeah, do it.
I mean,
what is it? Right?
I don't think
if I hear computer typing, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear it for the Discord call, but when you're editing, you can absolutely hear the ticka 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 ticka.
I can hear it right now.
I was showing an example. You fucking... God, what? Oh, no. I screwed everything up.
By clicking on your keyboard?
Yeah, because I was still focused on Clip Studio, so I messed up with some of my tools.
Hey, Russell, how's this episode like Berserk?
Long.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the joke.
That was the joke.
So you know it's worth mentioning. I feel like it's I can kind of talk about it now at this point since everyone's seen the guest character in my first drawing by now. But Dark Souls is basically just a Berserk game.
Oh my god.
No, it is though.
Isn't there a weapon that's a reference to the Dragon Slayer?
There are multiple weapons that are a reference to Berserk. In Dark Souls 3 especially, it's literally just the Dragon Slayer, yeah. And in Dark Souls 1, there's the, basically the sword Guts has in the Golden Age. But no, just, thematically, in its tone, its story, and all that sort of thing, Berserk, Dark Souls is essentially just a Berserk video game. Which is really fascinating. The main story of, I'm getting them mixed up. The main story of Dark Souls is about how a king known as Gwyn made a huge sacrifice in his quest for I believe, if I recall correctly, Gwyn had good intentions, but it fucked everything over, and Gwyn actually has a lot of parallels to Griffith, although Griffith was a lot more malicious in the way he did things. But then, yeah, again, Miyazaki, the guy who makes not the Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, I don't know how to pronounce it, not that Miyazaki, but the guy who created Dark Souls, or at least the main vision behind it, definitely a huge Berserk fan. In Dark Souls 3, you could literally just make Guts. There are armor sets where...
That's rad.
Yeah, it almost looks exactly like his Black Swordsman armor, which is really dope.
I think I am just about done with this pure little boy. Hang on, I have something I can draw.
Who are you drawing?
Griffith.
You fucking asshole.
Okay, all right. So I think I had this discussion. I think I had this discussion with you a little while ago. Theoretically, did Griffith do anything? You could make a little thing on a macro scale. You can make a little thing on a macro scale. Yeah, that works. Where in reality, every person moving up in the world is standing on the backs of others to do it. The guy that is a CEO, he still needs somebody to make his food when he runs to McDonald's or whatever. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that's just the way the world works. There's always going to be sacrifices made, to get ahead by others. Even the McDonald's worker is going to have to, sacrifice another person to advance. There's no way to reach the upper echelons without, walking on a staircase of others. And so, Griffith does that with what he's got, his goal, the one thing he wants in life is to become a king. And he does that by any means necessary. And okay, so let's say that a bunch of supernatural shit doesn't happen and he doesn't decide to sacrifice a bunch of his friends, right? So if that were to happen, he would still go to war. He would still, send his troops into battle. And in that circumstance, they're all saying, Griffith, we will lay down our lives for you and for your goals, right? So, if they have made that choice and devoted themselves to him, for the last X years of the story, anyhow, what realistically is the difference between them going into countless battles, potentially losing their lives in the pursuit of Griffith's goal, versus him just sacrificing them all at once in a freaky voodoo ritual?
Well, see, that's the whole point of Griffith's little episode he has before succumbing to the God Hand, right? That's the whole philosophy that he learns to adopt. He becomes crippled by the weight of his sins, his guilt over the people who have died for his goal. But in confronting that guilt, he becomes more determined to reach his goal any means necessary, and realizes that the path he has taken has been a waste of time, and thus, in order to, if he really wants to become something great, he needs to make the call right now. And he rationalizes it as, well, they were all going to die for me anyway. I might as well just have it happen right here, right now.
Yeah.
And that's his perspective. Obviously, it's fucked, especially with how everyone goes out.
It is true that everybody has, by joining his army and sticking with him, they have agreed to put their lives on the line for him.
In a sense. I think it's fair to say, though, that obviously they meant it in, like, a field of glory, right?
Sure, yeah.
Not killed by the titty demons.
Not a field of gory.
Right. Wow. You're so...
Oh, come on. Give me that one.
That made me want to eat my hand, I'm not gonna lie.
Do it.
What?
Do it. If you're gonna insult my shit...
Yeah, no.
Then do it.
Yeah, no.
Russell, sing the Animaniacs theme song.
I don't even remember how it goes. I just remember Animaniacs, and that's about it.
And we're zany to the max. There's baloney in our sacks. We're Animaniacs. So can meet the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot. They run around in something in the Warner movie lot. They lock us in the tower whenever we get caught. But we break loose and then vamoose, and now you know the plot. We're Animaniacs.
Dude, can I just say, I've always been in love with the semi-canon that all the Looney Tune characters are just actors in like a weird world where cartoons and real people coexist.
Yeah.
I've always been in love with that idea. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the Looney Tunes Back in Action, obviously Slam Jam, Space Jam. I've always loved those ideas.
It's fun.
So
I do agree.
Animaniacs definitely has that energy as well of like the meta of them being in Warner Brothers Studios. Actually, I've always loved it.
Let's talk about some more. Let's talk about some more Berserk. We haven't talked about Berserk in a hot sec.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about, Ian? I'll let you.
Let's talk about Skull Knight. I don't think we mentioned him yet.
Oh, dude, Skull Knight's the fucking dopest.
He's so cool. I really like that mystery of him being like some kind of ancient being that shows up in times of peril to assist the heroes, but also to give them cryptic messages.
Yeah, he's a very mysterious character to the point where we still don't know quite a whole lot about him, which is very fascinating.
I liked when Guts first puts on the Berserker armor and you see that it like resembles Skull Knight's.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when it starts out, and
then we find out that he had it.
Yeah, there are a lot of strong theories, and these are just theories. I don't know if they would count as spoilers at all. But there are theories that Skull Knight is the same person as in this legend of like a king who supposedly killed his people for like a big sacrifice, and it's implied that he had to bail it as well. So the theory might be that his punishment was becoming the Skull Knight, the king, but we don't know that quite yet for sure. Very, very vague summary of that theory, but that's kind of the general gist of it. But yeah, and Skull Knight has appeared recently, so I hope maybe we'll get some info about him. Oh shit, if all of his wings are green.
Way to go, dipstick.
Son of a bitch. Whatever.
Russell.
Yeah, what's up, dog?
Let's make a bet, and if you lose, you have to get the mark of sacrifice tattooed on you.
What? No. Okay, wait, hold on. What's the bet?
You have to get the Deathly Hallows tattooed on you, and if you back out, you have to get the mark of sacrifice.
Wait, so this is basically just either A, choose a horrible tattoo to have, or B, choose a really good tattoo to have.
Well, yeah, but people still think you're like a cringy Berserk dude, bro.
What the fuck? My brother has a cursed brand mark tattoo.
Oh. I'm sorry you had to make that realization.
He does though. It's dope. It's right in the spot where Guts is I think.
Okay, all right. I'll revise it since that's obviously the coolest thing in the world. So either you have to get the Deathly Hallows logo tattooed on your forearm, or you have to get a Joestar birthmark tattooed on your shoulder.
So either the Deathly Hallows or the Joestar?
Yeah.
That's easy, Joestar.
Yeah, but people think you're a huge douchebag.
I don't care. I don't want to have a fucking Deathly Hallows and I don't want anything Harry Potter on me. I hate Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I used to love Harry Potter, and I think it's still good. I don't know. I've stopped caring.
I have a lot of difficulty with separating art from the fan base.
I know you do,
yeah. We had to talk about that the other day with the Easy Breezy song or My Hero and stuff like that.
Easy Breezy.
You know what? It's funny that sounded more like a Duel of the Fates, and I'm drawing Skull Knight's stupid Darth Maul horns as that's happening. Dude, holy shit! What if Skull Knight's just Darth Maul? He even rides a horse like Darth Maul does.
When does Darth Maul ride a horse?
He doesn't.
Okay, so let's say. Do you ever think about how Void from the God Hand looks like a Nemesis?
I think how he looks like a giant fucking dork.
No, Void isn't a dork.
The guy with a giant brain for a head?
Yeah!
He looks like the aliens from Mars Attacks. He looks stupid.
Fuck it. No, he's cool!
He's not cool.
He's so cool!
He's so dopey.
No, he's cool. Shut the fuck up. He's dope. I bet you're a fucking I bet you're a Coomer who likes Slan.
I mean, not really.
Oh well.
I don't think any of them particularly have a good design. Like Slan just looks very generic. Brain Boy looks stupid and
No,
dumb.
Void is cool.
No, he's not.
Fuck you.
And then the other two look like weird, like Akira babies.
I admittedly don't even remember what their names are, but I like the Akira babies.
You would.
What are the other two's names? Void and Slan are easy to remember because they actually are around, but I think the other two have like oddly like normal ass names. Conrad, yeah. One of them's name is Conrad. It's the dude with like his hands together and he's like, oh. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, cool. Good talk.
Perpetually never.
Yeah, that's fair. But no, fuck you. Void's cool.
My Skull Knight looks like shit.
The fight that Guts has with Slan is dope as fuck, though.
I don't remember a lot about it.
It's like... I admittedly forget some of the context, but Guts gets pulled up into like her version of hell for a bit, and it's like there's like obviously because it's Slan, there's like huge sexual like tension kind of thing going on. But it's really dope because Guts just like completely splits her in half with his sword. That's totally not a phallic symbol, but it's metal as fuck and it's cool.
All right.
I forget if that like kills her or she's still. I think she's still around.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't think you can explicitly kill the God Hand.
I don't think that the God Hand are gonna die in the storyline.
Probably not, honestly.
By the way, I don't think we've actually defined this. The God Hand are these this council of demons.
Oh yeah.
That they are like the leaders of all demons.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
they
dope.
stand on a big hand.
Yeah, they're dope. Yeah, that's why they're the God Hand. Not to be confused with the amazing yet underrated Capcom game, The God Hand. But
yeah, I kind of want to play that.
It's so good, dude. It's really hard, but it's so good.
Apparently, there's a from what I know about it, there's a speedrun category where you have to keep the kick me sign on your back the entire game.
Yes.
Because you start out with a kick me sign, and
Yes.
if you get hit once, you lose it.
It's such a goofy game. I love it.
You know what? My Skull Knight looks a little goofy, so I'm gonna have some fun with this. I'm not gonna make it as realistic and metal as I was hoping it would look.
Fair. I'm definitely going with a goofy route for my Void right now. Bang bang.
Yep,
bang,
mine's gonna be
pull
cooler.
my double trigger.
Mine's gonna be cooler. Oh man.
No, mine's gonna
so
be
cool
cooler
already.
because it's an epic meme reference, dude.
Mine's an epic meme reference.
Oh, fuck you. Mine's a cooler meme.
No, it's not.
I don't even remember what Void's pants look like. Does he have pants? Like legs, I mean? No, he's just one giant
Doesn't
ass.
he wear like a robe?
Yeah, oh yeah, isn't his thing is that he's just the head and arms, and then the robe covers the fact that he doesn't have a body?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of this drawing, he has legs. I don't care. Okay, now I just gotta do... What's another Godhead member? Should I... Okay, I'll just do... Yeah, I'll just do Void, Femto, and Slan. Fuck it.
I think Femto looks particularly stupid with like the bright red lips in his costume.
Yeah, Femto looks a little... I don't super agree with how Femto looks. However, in Miura's style, just...
He looks like he looks like Gimp, like Gimp 90s Batman.
A bit.
Also, did he get to choose that name, or is that like a God hand thing? You know,
I think it's the kind of thing where it's like it's automatically chosen, not necessarily by God hand, but they're able to read what he is deep down in spirit.
Interesting.
That's my theory. It's very much like an anime, like opening up your true self, awaken your persona kind of thing.
Burn my dread.
Why are you doing this?
I'm so hungry I skipped lunch. All I've had today is 3 pieces of Wawa melon. I don't know what
Wawa
I should do
melon?
for that. Yeah.
I see.
What? Why'd you say it like that?
Well, I mean, I'm not judging, you know. I mean, you know.
Do you not like Wawa melon?
No, it's fine. You know, just, Yeah, I do. I really hate a watermelon.
Do you?
I despise watermelon, dude.
How?
It's disgusting.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
It's the best fruit in the world.
It's not. It's disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting.
Oh, wait, you just don't like fruit because it's healthy.
No, I like fruit.
Uh-huh.
I like fruit so much I basically am a fruit.
I was gonna make a joke if you weren't.
Yeah, well, you know me.
I was gonna say, well, you like me, so that can't be the case.
Wow. What the fuck?
I don't understand.
What the fuck, dude?
Do you like cantaloupe?
No.
Honeydew?
What was that last one?
Honeydew?
Honeydew. I don't think I've had that, but I doubt it.
It's like green cantaloupe.
Gross.
Dude, oh man, I might have to be the one that leaves Artistically Declined. Ew.
This is your show, though.
Yeah. What's your least favorite letter in the entire alphabet?
Probably... Oh... It's a toss-up between J and maybe W.
Okay, W. I hate W's name because all the other ones are like V and A and
Like very
Q.
clearly incorporate the sound of their letter.
This one's just W.
Yeah.
It should have been called like Wawa or something.
Special shout out to Zed though.
What are you, Canadian?
Well, no, I'm saying shout out to that pronunciation or that way of saying it.
I think that S is the most egregious crime in the history of alphabets.
In what way?
From a typographical standpoint. Designing a font, S is like the fucking secret in boss. It's the worst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you have to make sure the top and bottom are balanced in an appropriate way. You have to make sure that like it incorporates aspects of other curves and dimensions from your fonts, but connecting, it's not just like taking your C or the round part of your D or something and smashing two of those together, because you have to make them connect. So and you have to make it fit within the size constraints of your other letters, which can be difficult. Just it's absolute hell.
Dude, bacon's overrated.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
the
it
best.
is. It's
Actually,
it's
no,
not
ham
that
is the
great.
best.
Ham's alright. It depends.
Well, what do you think is the best?
What do I think is the best? Chicken.
No. Chicken is the second worst.
Well, chicken is hard to do right, but when it's done right, oh my god. It's so easy to make chicken dry as hell, but
Yeah.
But when you get that right level of moist, it's freaking fire, dude.
Okay, so have you got your stuff exported?
Yeah, I do. You know
Okay.
what? I do.
Well, who's going first?
You can go first if you want.
All right. Well, here is my Guts. This is Guts being discovered by his adoptive father.
Fully grown already, with the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, he was born from a dead woman's womb.
Yeah, just
In
normal
the
shit.
story proper. Yeah.
All right, from my Guts, it's him doing an epic bro shake with Solaire, because
Nice,
they're bros and they're gonna partake
excuse
in.
me. Hang on, stop right there.
What?
That eye right there is supposed to be poked out. Thank you very much.
Shit! It is.
Way to go, you nuts.
No, no. Hold on. No. We're no. No.
Are we moving on?
No. Fuck you.
Oh, there we go. Much better. Much better.
Shit.
Good hand. Good hand, by the way.
Thanks, man. I kind of struggle with it, but.
All right. So next up will be my Griffith.
Oh shit! It's all in perspective and shit. Oh, yeah, he's doing. Okay, yeah, he has the pretty face, like I asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah, his face is fucked up normally.
Yeah.
But oh man, I love the way you did the Bayolet.
Thank you.
It's just all like ah. All right, and usually I save the best for last, but I'm gonna show off Best Girl.
That is very cute. That's adorable.
I'm very happy with it. I forgot to.
Very good work on the robes, by the way.
Thank you.
Those look great.
I had to block those out really quick because I didn't want to settle for flats.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very happy with it. I forgot to work on the staff in the bag, but whatever. I actually kind of want to polish that up into a full thing later.
Staff doesn't look too bad.
Jesus Christ! Can we get an entire retelling of Berserk, but Skull Knight is just Sans?
I think that would make it much better. Honestly. Do you think Mira is taking recommendations?
I love it. I'm not sure if I fully understand what the markings are around the curse mark though. Like the looks like maybe like a cursor or like a reticle.
No, it's the fucking game theory deal.
Oh my fuck you.
Because he did the is Sans Nest thing.
Yeah, I know, but like it's just because I made the game theory joke earlier, so. But okay, yeah, I like that. It's very nice, very cursed.
All right, hit me. Come on.
Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Pull my double trigger.
What meme is this supposed to be?
It's a Devil May Cry meme.
Okay, all right.
It's just like a picture of Dante and Nero dancing like little gremlins.
This looks fucking stupid.
I know, it's great.
I like it.
I'll show you the
I feel like
original.
Femto's got a bit of Winnie the Pooh face going though.
Winnie the Pooh. I guess I can kind of see it.
I don't know why. All right, well I had fun today. This was pretty good. I really enjoy these characters a lot, and especially how well they're drawn and how well they're designed.
Yeah, this is a grand old time.
Yeah.
Very, very fun.
All right, well, come back next time. Bye.
Arigato, bye-bye! What?
I'm gonna have to send you this.
Okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? I so rarely hear you laugh like this. Oh my god.
That's really funny. Oh,
Let me see
oh
it.
fucking Christ.
That's so fucking stupid.
Okay, alright, okay.
Oh yeah, maybe we should get moving.